Hi, what's going on? So today in this video, we're going to be talking about how to rig a Texas rig. So, what is a Texas rig? Now, I made a video talking about Texas rig stickworms yesterday. I figured why not go ahead and make a Texas rig, how to set up a Texas rig video today. So, I already have a bead on here because I had the camera going at one point, and when I looked back up after putting the bead on, the camera decided to be turned off. So, I've already got the bead on there. Basically, it just keeps your weight to your worm or where your worm's at. And I always have a bead on my Texas rigs. If I don't, then it's probably just like a really quick rig up that I didn't really need the peg for, just quickly rigging something up. So, got a little 1/8 ounce Texas rig weight here. This is a bullet weight. 1/8 ounce is a really good size. I think it's one of the smallest sizes there is. Basically, you just put it on there to where the point, where it be shaped like a bullet, is to your bobber stop. So it stops it just like that. So you put that on there. Then you get your hook. These are EWG hooks. These here are 5/0 hooks. You can get them in whatever size you want, all the way from 1/0 all the way up to I think there's like 7, 8/0 hooks even. I know there's some 12/0 hooks, but I don't think they're EWGs. I think they're swimbait hooks. But there's some big hooks out there, and these here are just some 5/0s. So the knots that I normally use are either a clinch knot or the unknown knot. I don't know what the name of the knot is, but it seems to work. Basically what you do, it's very hard for me to see right now because of the light. Put your line through there. For a clinch knot, you take it, wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you want it. You can do it even more than that if you want to. You go down here to your loop by your eyelet. Well, I can barely even see this. You put it back through the loop if I can see it. That light is not helping me at all. Okay, put it back through that loop that you made at the beginning, and I just undid it. You put it through the loop just like that. You grab your tag end again, and you go up through the other loop that you made. Grab your tag end, you hold your tag end, and you pull your main line. And I just messed it up. Oh well, we're not going to edit that out because, oh well. It happens. Especially to me with this light in my eyes, I can't see anything. So, go back through the eyelet, pinch your line like that, then you twist your line around. Like I said, 6 or 7 times, however many you want to do. Take your tag end again, go back through the loop. It works better if you have a lot more line to work with. Grab your tag end, pull your main line, and there you go. Very strong knot. I actually just cut my hand. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like a line cut. Alrighty, just like that. Go ahead and close this knife so I don't cut myself again. Just like that. There is the knot. And you go down here. There's your weight set up with your hook. Then you push that bobber stopper down onto the weight. And there's your whole setup right there. That is the setup. So I'm also going to talk about some of my favorite baits for Texas rigs. Some of my favorite baits, worm-wise, are if I'm going for a very large fish, big 10-inch worms such as striking bullworm, or a big old monster, or 8-inch striking bullworm works as well. Another worm like I was doing yesterday in my video, throwing a little stick bait like this, or a little curly tail worm like this here. This is a culprit shad colored worm. Very nice looking worm there. I think this is 7.5 inch, I think. if I'm not mistaken. Another bait that a lot of people don't really throw on Texas rigs and flip and stuff like that with is a swim bait. I've never seen people flipping a swim bait besides myself. I've caught a lot of fish on it. You guys have seen me catch fish on it. These little swim baits, this one here is a Gambler Big Easy. This one here is just one that I just grabbed out of my tackle box. My preferred Texas rig swim bait is a Strike King Rage Swimmer, or a, what is that swim bait called? I can't remember the name of it. I'll leave links in the description, so you guys can go and buy these baits if you want to. Other baits is a tube. A tube is a really good bait. A lot of people just think they're for smallmouth, with a jig head. But Texas rig tubes work really well, especially around lily pads. I've had my best luck fishing tubes around lily pads or hydrilla. They just work super well in those situations. Other baits, these here are all Strike King baits. So Strike King Rage Bug is a really good bait. The Strike King Rodent is also a really, really good bait. And the Strike King Rage Crawl is also another really good bait. Another bait, I didn't have one on my table. I just had this one that's been torn up. But the Dock Lures Flat Runner that I make is another phenomenal Texas rig bait for rigs like this. So basically how you Texas rig a bait, we'll go ahead and grab the, where's it at? You know what, we'll just grab this crawl. Okay, so how you rig it, you take your crawl and you make sure that the eyes, if you guys can see, the eyes are facing to your hand. You put the hook into the back of the bait all the way to the barb, or if you're wanting a very weedless presentation, you go all the way up to the shank of the hook, or where the bend starts. Slide it on up, go up just like so. And if you want to, you can cover up the eye of your hook if you wish to. I sometimes do. I usually do that with my bigger baits, such as an 8-inch to 10-inch worm. I do that, but with little crawls like this, I don't usually worry about it. Then you just take it just like this, stick it into the belly, then you pull it up through. I actually did that a little bit wrong. Stick it through the belly, put it into the back just like that. And there you go. There is your Texas rigged little Strike King crawl. Perfect rigged. You can't beat a Texas rigged crawl sometimes. If you guys go over and check out Realistic Fishing's channel, he has a lot of videos where he's throwing those around and catching a lot of fish. So another thing that a lot of people like to throw is these big worms. You rig them the same way. You go straight through the nose just like so. Make sure your hook comes out in the center of the bottom of the bait. Make it come up. Go up to the bend of the hook. Go over your eyelet. That's just something that I do with my big worms like this. Come back through the body. And there you go. There it is. Fits on there perfectly just like so. And there's your 10-inch worm on your Texas rig. If you don't really want a super heavy Texas rig bait or Texas rig weight on your big worms, go with a lightweight, because that worm will definitely get that bait out there far enough, because that worm weighs quite a bit. Honestly, I'd say this worm itself probably weighs close to an ounce. I think I've actually weighed it at one time, but I don't remember what it weighs. But these are very big worms. They are very heavy, and they will cast a mile even when they're weightless rigged. So that there is a good way of fishing a Texas rig worm. Something else you can do is Texas rig swim baits, like I was talking about earlier. You can Texas rig swim baits, and you basically just Texas rig them the same way. But if you're wanting to Texas rig a tube, tubes are a tiny bit different than worms and stuff like that, because they are hollow. All tubes that you find are hollow. I know the Strike King flipping tube has a solid head, but the rest of it's hollow. Most tubes, actually all of them, are hollow. I've never found any solid body tubes that I ever remember using. But basically how you do it, you go straight through the top of the head, come out the side, go all the way up over the eyelet. just like so. You guys see how that weight sits on top of there just like that? Then, now your hookup will be a little bit better with these because of the way you have to rig them. Basically how you rig them, just like that. Hang on a minute. I messed that one up a little bit. There we go. I fixed it. Alright. Just like so. And there you go. That's how you rig a Texas rig tube. You take these, you flip around them lily pads. I've caught some big rock bass and largemouth bass just flipping a little weightless tube, actually. I was fishing it weightless with a 3/0 hook, and I caught quite a few decent sized fish using that little setup. So the reel and rod that I use for this depends on the cover I'm fishing. If you're fishing, lighter cover and you don't really have to worry about, wrenching them out of cover, I'll go with mono. This here is 12-pound monofilament on a Shakespeare agility reel with a Shakespeare Alpha medium action rod. This is a, how tall is it? 6 foot medium action rod. Pretty decent rod. The reel gear ratio is 6:2 to 1. Pretty decent reel gear ratio. I know there's a lot faster reels out there, but for 15 to 20 bucks, actually 25 bucks, pretty cheap reel, and they work phenomenally well over some of the other reels that I've used. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys learned something about this video. If you're new to bass fishing, don't go out and buy a bunch of these big worms. Wait until you've learned a bit more about fishing some of the smaller worms like this, or smaller baits, I mean, because, fishing a 10-inch worm is not something that, a new angler is going to know right away. If you're new to bass fishing, buy some small creature baits such as Rage Craws or Christy Craws or whatever, and Senkos. Senkos just catch a lot of fish. Trick worms also work well also. So, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.